Bernie White, what is going on, dude?
What's good, man? Been a long time since we spoke.
Was it in October?
In San Diego, I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
dude. I owe you Bernie White. Last time I saw Bernie White, he saved my life by booking me an Uber. That
That was a good night, man. Fun
was
time.
fun. That was a fun night. We're here. It was a good time, and we made it. But dude, how you been? So tell everyone really quick. We've had Bernie on, by the way, guys. And actually, let me give you a quick intro. We've had Bernie on before, and he's made some moves that I want to talk about. He's gone through some shit that I want to talk about. But we have had him on, but I want to just catch everyone up to speed. So tell everyone where, I know where you're at, but tell everyone where you're physically based right now.
So I'm in San Diego, Ocean Beach, California.
Yeah, and he's clearly allergic to money, because he just likes, like, what kind of Vaseline do you use when the IRS comes and shoves it up your ass?
I don't even know,
I'm
man.
just kidding, bro. There are parts of California I really enjoy. And then there's parts I'm like, dude, White, you're living there and you're getting screwed. But no, San Diego's dope.
I'm on the beach.
County's dope.
I can see the ocean from my bedroom window.
That's badass. That's badass. And like where we were in October, like just sitting there looking at the ocean, that's you can't beat that. Other than, maybe going to Florida, but that's becoming a little cliche. Let's be honest.
I mean, today it's like a heat wave and it's 81 degrees outside and we're all like freaking out.
True. Weather's dope. Weather's freaking dope. Okay, so you're in California. When we spoke last time, I know you had at least a deal, but the reason I wanted to bring you on again is because, guys, when you get into this business, everyone gets excited. Everyone's got the honeymoon phase. This is awesome. I'm going to be able to quit my job. I'm going to be able to do this and travel the world and buy the freaking Lambo or the G-Wagon, blah, 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 blah. And everyone's stoked, right? And then you get freaking just destroyed. You get punched in the teeth and you call the business owner who's an absolute dick, or you get a site, a Google ad suspension, or you spend $1,000 on ads and you don't close a deal and you're like, oh, that hurts. And that, guys, is when the business really actually starts. And there's that cliche quote, I don't know if it was Muhammad Ali or whatever, and they like asked him how many sets or whatever he does, and he's like, I start counting after it starts to hurt, whatever, right? Yeah. It's kind of like that. Like, you don't actually know what this is like. For those of you that are sitting there and you dreaming about starting this business, and I'm not trying to shit on your parade, I'm just trying to be real with you. There's going to be a honeymoon, and then there's going to be that, you're going to sit there one day and go, oh baby, there's a reason why this is great money, because it is hard. And so I want to talk today because Bernie, he had some success. He did it, and he went through a little bit of trial tribulation in the beginning, got a deal, and then kind of went through it again, and then just recently smacked a 2 spot in a single day. Didn't you get 2 deals in one day?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Bro, dude, you've been seeing, I mean, I'm going to go inappropriate here. You've been watching the Adam 22 Lane of the Plug stuff?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, come on, dude. So I'll give the background. This video ain't going on YouTube anyway. Do you know who Adam 22 is?
No, I have no idea.
It's like, I think he's like an artist or whatever, and him and his girl, they just do porn, right? And what's that?
Like OnlyFans shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but it's some weird thing where like he gets like a pass, and he gets the hall pass, and he can go like do it with other girls and film stuff, but she has never. So the big thing that's like going around the news right now is he finally agreed, and basically she went and found the most heavily endowed man on planet Earth. So what I was getting at, because I kind of missed the punchline because you didn't know, is I was going to say, when you got the 2 spots, did you feel like Lane of the Plug's freaking dude that day? How did it feel, bro? How was the 2 spot? There's something that slaps a little different about the 2 spot.
It was good. I mean, so it was kind of all set up because I just had like different seeds planted in different places, just like calling different people, having people on the hook at different times, which is kind of how you got to do. You have to always have something in the pipeline. And one of them was a referral call. So I have this guy that I've been working with who's kind of a pain in my ass, but he always answers the phone whenever I call him, right? And like didn't want to sign a deal, but like I kind of kept him with me because he's like, dude, you just got to believe me, he's also flipping houses, right? So he's like, all my cash is tied up, but I do want to do this. He said, I can even get you other people, right? I was like, well, send me their names. And so I called the guy, his buddy who does pools, like pool building.
Okay.
And this guy, my guy in Tennessee called his pool building. He's like, let me warm him up for you. I was like, all right, I talked to him. He's asking me all these questions. I tell him how it works. I was like, let me just send you a video, a real quick video, 10 minutes. It goes over everything. And in the video, I'm even like looking at his location, right? I'm showing him like, this is the demand in your location and you're actually ranking here, but you're not ranking there. We could do all this shit. I sent it to him, didn't watch it and no response. I was like, dude, fuck this guy, right? Like, and like 4 weeks later, I wake up and I check my email and I have a email notification from Loom saying an anonymous member has watched the video.
Viewed it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I know he's the only one who has the link. So I was like, he watched it. I was like, should I call him right now? I'll just wait. I didn't call him. I was like, I was kind of thinking about it. And meanwhile, I already had a different like closing call set with
that same site.
With a totally different guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So 2 hours go by and the guy calls me, this referral guy. And I was like, so you watched the video? He's like, yeah, I just watched it. He's like, I'm trying to get this signed up like right away. How can we do it? All this stuff. And I was like, pump the brakes, dude. I need to like look at the numbers for what it would cost you and all that stuff. And I was like, I have another call in a few minutes. And I did. And that's when I got on a call for window tinting, which is not a niche I would recommend going into. It sucks, but it was actually on a Shiv sites. Shiv was like, can you sell this? Can you unload this trash? And so I sold that. Then I called back my other guy, the pool guy, and I was like, listen, I took a look at the numbers, like compared to the volume of like that pool building gets in this city and that city. And it's nowhere near like what concrete is. And that's who referred him as a concrete guy, right? I was like, the only way this works is if we do 3 sites right off the bat and like capture the volume in this city, that city, this city. And then he wanted to do like 12 sites. He's like, oh, if that's all it takes. I was like, so we shouldn't go that big. And so he talked me into what we settled at is doing 6 sites in 6 different cities. He just wants to capture all of it. And it's for $4,000 a month.
Oh, you didn't tell me this was a freaking Adam 22's girls guys deal, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
$4,000?
$4,000 a month, 6-month contract. And it's for 6 sites. So like generally I want to charge more for a site, but I was telling him, I was like, I would need 3 sites, I think, to get you a decent flow of calls. I didn't want to kind of like overpromise it, and see how it goes. But he signed up, and it was like right after that, I called back the window tinting guy because I was like, I'm on a roll. I called him, didn't even get on a Zoom call with him. I closed him on the phone. And that was after that, I was pumped. I was like, dude, I just closed 2 deals in the same day. And that's when I kind of shared it with the group.
And one of them was a $4,000 deal.
One of them was a $4,000 deal. Yeah.
Bro, that's a big boy deal. I think we've had a couple bangers in here, but that's got to be one of the biggest deals I've heard of. And I know you got multiple sites, but at the end of the day, dude, it's $4,000, and that's crazy. That's actually really cool. And that was in pool building.
That was in pool building. Yeah. So I haven't gone into it yet, but I'm outsourcing all the site. But I have a team now that I do, like, who builds all the sites. And I'm, just kind of using the same approach as I think with 6 sites, he should get legitimate volume. I'm getting on GMBs and stuff. So actually what I did for this guy, because I didn't know how well I was going to deliver, I was like, I'll give you the first month free if you sign a deal. And he's like, all right, which kind of gives me some time to set up 6 landing pages and 6 websites and stuff like that. So there's no like sweat after 2 weeks. I don't want him to give me $4,000 right away. And he's like, where's all my leads? I was like,
true.
Give me some time to set this shit up. And that was kind of I think it's kind of a good way to, like, if you're not sure you're going to close it, give him a month free. Because this guy didn't send him any free leads. Yeah, it was a referral call.
That's the best part about referrals, but I know what you mean. You want to make sure it's solid.
Yeah, I was like, give me a month, and I was like, I'm going to charge you in 4 weeks, and I signed a contract and everything. So it seems pretty solid. We'll see how long he sticks with me, but I'm excited about it.
Dude, what's crazy is I don't exactly remember the numbers, but when you got on last time when we were talking, dude, like, I guess the question is this. Can you imagine if when we talked 6 months ago or whatever, if I would have told you, hey, in a few months, you're going to be asking somebody for $4,000 a month, you would have been like, no, 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 dude. Like,
Well, dude, so this is my second 4K deal. I have a guy
bro,
in
I
South
didn't.
Carolina for concrete. Well, it started at 2K and I got it legitimately ranked. Like it's number one in the map pack. Yeah, and he's getting like 60, 70 calls a month from it. And what I did is I texted him and I said, hey, I wasn't like, do you want another? I was like, hey, I'm building sites in this spot. I'm building a site and you get the first access to it if you want it. He texted me back. He said, let me call you tomorrow. It was just a phone. He called me the next day and he's like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, but I don't know about that location. He's like, could you do this location also? I was like, how about we do 2 for 1? I'll charge you 500 a week for both of them. And so now he's at $1,000 a week with me.
Let's talk about that for a second, guys. This is like the most underrated, untalked about strategy for anyone that gets deals. And for those of you that haven't gotten a deal, this is what's so exciting about going and getting clients, especially by pre-selling and stacking, 5, 10 clients, is once you get a good base, 5, 10, 15 clients, you're literally sitting on so much money, because if you just crush it for that one client, then all you do is you sit there and you're like, okay, I'm going to look at every single one of my clients. One of them's in Dallas, one of them's in Phoenix, and one of them is in Vegas. I'm going to use that as an example. And I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to look at the different, cities and suburbs and whatever around their main city for the service that they offer. And sometimes that's the cool part, is these guys offer other services. Like I have a cactus removal guy that also does block walls. So you go and you spend time and you research in Phoenix. You're like, let me look at Mesa. Let me look at Queen Creek. Let me look at Glendale. Let me look at Tempe. And you're like, dude, there's like 4 opportunities of laydowns. Like there's no competition. You're like, okay, cool. And you do that for a couple areas, and you do exactly what Bernie did, is you just call them up. You're like, hey, just want to let you know there's no pressure, but I am not, do you want leads in this area, or do you want to do this? You say, hey, I'm building a site in Tempe. I know you're in Phoenix, but before I go and sell this to another contractor, are you interested? If so, I could probably do a package deal for you. It's the most sickest strategy ever. And it's the quickest way to go from, it's the quickest way, in my opinion, to increase your revenue, like 33% up to 50%, depending on where you're at. I've done this. In fact, dude, this is one of the keys that I used to scale to 100K is you're going to get clients that suck. That's just part of the game. But you're also going to get clients that are freaking hungry, that are hitting you up, that are like, let's go, let's build, let's do this. Like, it sounds like this guy's like, let's build 12 sites. So you need to take care of those guys or gals. And those people are going to turn you into a millionaire. Let's just say you have 30 clients, those 2 or 3 are going to make up 30 to 50% of your business potentially. And so what happened to me is I had 2 clients, and one of them started as $1,000 per month deal, completely accidental call. It was a lead from a niche I wasn't even thinking about. And I'm like, let me just send this to somebody, because it came off the wrong website. That led into a call, into another call, and another call. Started at 1,000, ballooned into $25,000, $30,000 a month with 20, 30 websites. And so you look at 100,000, you go, how am I going to get to 100,000? Well, imagine if one client was bringing in $30,000, you're more than a third of the way there, right? So all I want to do is highlight, brilliantly executed. You crushed it on that. And then the best part too, guys, is if you want to go even a step further, you could, and you're like scared to ask, you could just put up a 1-pager, run a few ads, and literally have a lead in hand and call your client and be like, hey, I have this lady named Michelle. She's in Tempe. I'll give you this one for free, but if you want this one, let's talk tomorrow, because if not, I'm selling it to Bob, who's also interested, blah, blah, blah. So easy. And how easy was the close? You didn't have to send him leads, none of that, right? You just did it.
Dude, we no Zoom call. It was a text message. And then he got on he's like, let me call you tomorrow. Like, I'm busy. And yeah, no leads. It was maybe like a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
That's why, bro, when I've said this before, the best marketing you can do, the best way to grow your business is to get your clients results. That's it.
No, yeah, if you're making people money, they'll hook it up. So, I told you I had that concrete guy in Tennessee, and this guy, like, he wanted me to do commission, and I actually started with it because he wouldn't sign anything. And the only reason I really went for that is, well, I wasn't paying for ads anymore. It was, so long story, I got a deal with somebody, built the site, ranked the site. That guy just ghosted, he stopped paying me, he's ghosted me, right? Even though I was delivering him leads. So I lost that client, got another client on it. He ended up ghosting me, even though it was like 28 calls a month. I was like, dude, this fucking area sucks.
Was this in California?
No, this is in Tennessee. I just, like,
okay. I was gonna zing California. I
I
won't.
think one of the reasons was the guy was kind of older, and like, even though he's getting 30 calls a month, wasn't gonna be able to act
Wasn't
on.
that hungry? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. So I had gone through every freaking, like, I had hit it hard, right, in terms of the prospecting list, and I wasn't paying money for ads anymore, right? So the leads were all, my only cost was the hosting fee and the call rail number. So I had this other guy who I was prospecting for in North Carolina, and meanwhile, my Tennessee site is still getting lead. Like, I'm seeing, like, this one guy wanted a foundation, like a $100,000 job. So I called my North Carolina guy. I was like, hey, how far would you travel to do this? And he's like, yeah, we'll travel. And so that's why I kind of stuck with him. I was like, all right, we can do commission for now, but I'm going to sign you onto a long-term deal. And so that part sucked, right? I'm dealing with this guy, and I would call this guy like cussing him out, like, you signed the goddamn contract. And but he always, he's younger, and he always answered the phone. He's like, dude, I'll hook it up for you. And so I think just listening to my gut there, and because he always answered, wasn't ghosting me, I stuck with him. And he was a business partner with the pool building guy, right? They go and renovate houses and build apartment buildings and shit and put in pools. And so that pool building guy had access to his email, like the business email. And he was seeing email notifications like every single day of like new concrete lead, missed, like, just a call, all this stuff. And so after like the initial call, he didn't do anything with me, but then seeing all of those leads coming in to the email inbox and those call run notifications, that's when he went to my other guys, like, dude, who's this guy? Like, let me close the deal with him. And then he called me, it was a referral call. But like, that never would have happened if I wasn't delivering a shit ton of leads to the other guy.
Yeah.
So it really was a reputation thing.
Dude, there's so many things I could extract from this, but I want to, I've written down a couple things I want to hit on here in a second, but the main thing that I brought you on for that I want to make sure we don't miss, which is after the honeymoon wears off, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay excited to not just eke by, but to be banging in $4,000 deals? So I'm sure that you dealt with it, and we can have a real chat here and we can be honest about it, but we've all been in that spot. We're excited. And then it's like, oh man. And we question we're like, does this actually work? And are people actually making money, or is everyone just lying to me? So for those people that are watching that have hit that, okay, honeymoon's over, now we're really in this. How do you stay motivated? What are some strategies that you could give to stay motivated to keep pushing the needle forward?
So a couple of things. So one thing, like, you do have to believe in the model. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to work. You have to.
Did you have doubt? Let me ask this. Let's be real. Did you have doubts about the model when you first started?
Not when I first started, but it was around February, March. I lost like 3 clients after getting their credit card information. Then they, like, one guy just rejected the charge. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
so basically he was too scared to tell you no and gave you the card. That's ridiculous.
Went through a whole Zoom call and gave me his card. And the next day, like, and that happened, like, and then there was another guy, I charged him once and he paid once. And the next time the card wasn't working and I was calling, ghosted me. This is the same freaking site. And like, I went through like 3 different people on one site who like gave me their credit card.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah.
But now the site's ranked. So I was like, I'm not losing money on it. So it was kind of then where I was like questioning it a little bit. But like, one thing that I kind of look at, and this is something I was reading about somewhere else, it's looking at like lead indicators versus lag indicators, which I'm not sure if you're familiar.
That sounds like really over my head. I want to hear about it. So lead indicators.
Well, it's something I learned in like economics, where it's.
Well, you actually are smart though, bro. Some of us barely graduated from like Podunk USA. Let's talk about this lead
Well,
indicator.
so you can measure the health of different things by looking at lead indicators and lag indicators, right? And
Okay.
so like for example, like the economy would be like a leading indicator of the health. Like you can measure the health of the economy, right? A leading indicator would be like how much are home buyer or home builders building homes? Because if they're building homes, they're optimistic about the health of the economy. And so that's a leading indicator that the economy is going to be doing well. Same
Okay.
thing with, you can look at like the consumer price index, right? Like these are leading indicators that the economy is doing well. For lagging indicators, it's like a leading indicator is basically indicators that are looking forward to outcomes. Lagging indicators are indicators that are looking back at whether that intended result is achieved. So
Okay.
like the lagging indicator for the economy would be like, what is the unemployment rate? Like now we know that the economy is shitty because the unemployment rate's high.
Okay.
Inflation, right? But so you can measure the health of your business. Like a lag indicator would be like, how much money am I getting right now? How big is your bank account? That's a lag indicator that your business is healthy. How many like deals have I actually closed?
I see.
Lead and that's what we all look at. It's like who's the top dog? Who has the most deals closed? Who's making the most money?
Yep.
But like leading indicators are like equally as healthy to look at because it's lagging indicators, it takes time. But if you're looking at like how many people do I have on the hook right now? How many prospecting calls have I done? How many due diligences and landing pages have I set up? Those will all lead to money, right? So it's like, don't get so caught up in looking at the lagging indicators, which is like exactly how much money is in my Stripe account. But look at like, if you leading indicators, things you can measure. And if you're taking care of those, the lag indicator will come. You know what I mean? Like it's like even like in the private group, we have a dashboard of who's closing the most deals, right? And those are lag indicators. Those are the top people. I promise you, if we had a different dashboard of who has done the most prospecting calls, who has sent the most Zoom or Loom webcasts out, those people would be corresponding to the lag indicators, right? It just takes time. So if you just focus on those first things, it's gonna happen. And I started focusing on that, and 2 deals came in a day because I had people prospected already. And kind of planting those seeds anyway. So I know that's kind of a little deep, but that's sort of how I look at it, is focusing on those leading indicators.
So for somebody that's kind of hit that wall, it's like instead of going and looking at it and saying, hey, I've been doing this for 6 months and I've only made X amount of dollars, or I'm only making $4,000 a month. Look at the lead indicators, which would be, dude, but I also have 4 business owners on the hook, a
Right.
referral I still have to call, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Just focus on those things that you sort of talk about this in a different way, just like focusing on things that move the needle, right? And the more you focus on that, like the lagging indicator, which is how much money you're making, it'll come. Like it will come.
Dude, that actually is so funny that you're talking about this, because you see what the stream's called today, right? The stream says, I love the money for sure, but I love the hustle the most. Focusing on the freaking hustle, dude, focusing on the actual work itself and knowing that it's going to pan out. It's like I freaking knew, dude.
It's the same concept, same idea.
Yeah.
It's focusing on the things that will lead to money, and the money will come.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's one of the things, is you stop looking at, hey, I'm only at 3,000 a month and Ryan Dalton's at 30, and oh man, I suck. And you started going, yeah, but I'm making this many calls, I'm hooking this many business owners, and like these things are going to add up to that ultimate result.
Those are metrics you should be measuring. It's like, how many people do I have on the hook right now? Right. It's like,
Or how many offers did I make this week?
how many webcasts have you sent out?
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're just planting those seeds, you will be closing deals. Like I have a guy on the hook, right? I have a closing call on Friday. So it's just, you should always have someone on the hook. And you will be closing deals.
So let's talk about that too, because I think people are like, okay, I get it. More offers, more money, more offers, more closed deals. But how do I increase my offers? Like, what are some strategies? Because one of the things I wrote down that when you were talking was the reason that you are like making moves, doing deals, having success, excited about the business model, which by the way, I can totally feel it and it gets me excited, is you are making enough, you're taking enough action that you're seeing things come in, right? It's like you had that conversation over here and you sent that screencast over here and you had, you shook that hand there and it's like you do enough of that, it compounds over time. And all of a sudden it may take 3 months. How many weeks did it take for this guy to open up the Zoom?
4 weeks.
you made money today, for example, on something that you did 4 weeks ago. And some people start this business model and go, oh my gosh, well, Bernie's closing 2 in a day. But you forget that Bernie also sent 4 screencasts that day. 3 of them never got watched. 1 of them got watched, but it took 4 weeks. And he did that plus this, plus this, plus this. And that's why, and he's got a closing call on Friday. So the key is, guys, is how do you get, I like the term seeds, right? You do actually reap what you sow. If you're not talking to people and they don't know that they can have a transaction with you, you're not getting, like, it's just math. Like, you have to talk to more people. You have to be planting more seeds. You have to be asking for more money and just taking more action. And then that's what's going to translate. But I think people forget because they're like, well, I put up 1 website and I ran $100 in ads. And my gosh, I can't believe I'm not at $10,000 and traveling the world. And it's like, dude, come on, bro.
Yeah, it's just the more you talk to people, like, and so I that window tinting guy, he was like, it was a small deal, but then he said, can you build me 2 more sites? So it turned into a bigger deal right away. And then he was like, my dad actually is trying to sell some shit for like HVAC. Like, could you give him a call? And like, even I've done prospecting where they're like, that's a little too far, like, and sort of talk to them about what we do. And he's like, that's a little too far, but I'd be interested in roofing. Like, could you do that? And that didn't pan out to me because roofing is just so damn competitive. But like, they'll just tell you and talk to you about like I have another guy, he's like, that's too far away from me, but you could build me a site here instead. Right. So it's like things that just turn out to be deals only because I called them. Right. Like if they, because the business model is great. They're like, oh shit, you have a website on the front of Google. It's kind of a turnkey operation. I just get the phone calls. They're like, could you do this for me over here? Could you do this for my dad? Could you, and the more you talk to people, the more like business just kind of grows. But you have to get on the phone.
Yeah, you have to, it's so simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's like more action, more money. One thing that I thought was kind of impressive because, and I want to ask your opinion on this. And guys, here in about 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to take some Q&A. So get your questions in the queue. By the way, ask Bernie the hard stuff, ask him the personal stuff, ask him the stuff about like, his sex life and stuff. He'll answer all of it. Just kidding, bro. So you said this guy, if I heard your story correctly, the guy that you closed for 4K, that he watched the Loom 4 weeks later, was it not a referral?
That was a referral.
Okay. Yeah. So here's my point. How many times have we got on the call and gotten a referral or talked to somebody that we hooked or that we did something for and gave something free to, and they don't respond exactly how we want them to, and we completely just are dick faces to them? I've done it, right? Oh, okay, screw you, guy. You're going to waste my time on the phone and you're not even going to call me back. And I sent you a screencast. And so I'm impressed that you did not, whether you did it on purpose or not, you didn't burn that bridge. That's why you were able to get that deal. So I want to talk about that for a minute. I'm going to share my thoughts, but like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you consciously make sure that you don't burn bridges?
Yeah, for sure. And it kind of goes to stuff that we were talking about earlier, or even like yesterday on yesterday's calls, like giving value up front, right? Like this guy that I was talking to was really vouching for him. And I didn't get the call back till I had already delivered him a shit ton of leads, right? Just being nice. Just sending him a lot of leads, even though I didn't know that the pool guy was going to come in. Just there's no reason to burn. Like, you don't gain anything by burning a bridge, right? Like, what do you gain? So I just kind of keep them in the queue. And now they're talking about bringing in one of their roofer buddies because they're like, he does roofing for all of our housing shit. And we think we want to start selling more like gutter guard installations. And we're going to bring you into that deal. And it just kind of like, dude, these younger like home service guys, they're hungry if you find the right, and they have a network. Like a lot of them have their own network, and you can kind of just grow it like that organically without spending money on ads. So it's like,
dude,
just
I love that. And it's not really the thing that you hear out in the marketplace right now. Sorry, I've got like this office chair mat, but it doesn't have the freaking grips on the bottom, so it just slides around. So I'm keep shifting. But it goes against like this popular like thing. You see Steve Jobs was an ultra dick, and you see this. It's like, the truth is, you don't get very far by being a massive dick to people. And what I've seen, I have definitely been guilty of having a conversation, sending some leads, and then, oh, screw you, guy. I'm actually, not only am I not going to sell this to you, but I'm going to go sell it to your ex-wife. Like, obviously not, but like, that's my mentality. And guess what? It feels so good in the moment. You're like, dude, I just got him. But guess what? At the end of the day, guess who doesn't make money? I've completely shifted into, excuse me, I've completely shifted now into like, how do I never burn a bridge, right? Even, quite honestly, even the people that have screwed me over, I've had people that have blatantly screwed me over, cut me out of deals, whatever. Now, I'm not saying I'm never going to go hang out with them. They're not going to be my homie, but I just don't burn bridges, because if you're going to be in business for any period of time longer than the next month, it's going to come full circle. And you never know when that client today, their dad becomes the biggest concrete guy in the state. Or you never know when they shut that business down, but they open this other business and it takes off, and they're like, yeah, I remember that guy. They're still going to feel like, hey, I kind of owe that guy something because he gave me those leads. The whole point of this, guys, is like, I think we need to stop. And I know I need to check myself too, but there, like you said, dude, there's no advantage to burning bridges. It doesn't do anyone good. The only thing it does, it gives you that little moment of like, screw you, I'll show you. But last I checked, we're not in this business to collect moments of screw yous. We're in this business to make money, to live the life that we want to live. So I just want to put in a plug for, like, you're going to have the contractor that screws you over. You're going to have the contractor that won't pay and whatever. You're going to have the guy that you give leads to, and then he's like, yeah, actually, I'm not that interested. And you can tell he just wanted free leads. I'm not saying get walked on. I'm not saying be okay with it. What I'm saying is don't burn a bridge, because you never know when you're going to get a call. I remember getting a guy, 2019, I pitched a guy. I sent him all the leads. We did the whole thing. I was like, I'm getting him. And I never would have guessed he would have said this, but he ended up being like, dude, I can't. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I want to show low income, that whole spill. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, really? But something, I don't know, maybe I just didn't think about it, but I never was rude. That dude, a year later, came back, easiest close of my life, $1,000 a month, had him for over 3 years. I made, and that by that time the site was ranking, so we weren't spending that much money. I probably made over $30,000 in my pocket because I wasn't a douchebag to that guy. So just the plug. I know you guys see that. That's like the cool thing, to be a douche and to burn bridges and stuff. But guess what? What's cool to me is having a big bank account and making moves and doing deals. I don't need to be everyone's friend, but I also don't need to make enemies. And that's kind of like this shift that I've had. So I think that that's the way you should approach business personally. I don't know about you, but I think you agree.
No, 100% agree.
Love it, dude. Okay. Let's get into some Q&A from Mr. Bernie. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Some of these people are saying Adam 22. Some people are pretending they don't know who Adam 22 is. They're hurrying unsubscribing from their subscription.
I swear I've never heard of that.
I'm not saying you, I'm just kidding. It's funny. You don't know who actually was telling me about it? Was freaking old Shiv this week.
Oh, really?
With him. I didn't know anything about this either, but I got the full scoop. Okay, Nadine says, smart move not charging him the first month. Nothing worse than disgruntled BO that starts running his mouth if you can't deliver. Yeah, and that's also not the advice across the board. It's just that it felt like the right move. And with that specific deal, because it was big enough and it was a referral, you could afford to do it. I'm just clarifying. We're not encouraging to just.
I wouldn't necessarily encourage it, because maybe shit goes wrong and then you never get paid. But I think it's a much better way. It's a much better incentive to close a deal like that than to just lower the price. Because if you think about a free month, all right, I'm out four grand on this month, not charging him. But if I lowered it to $3,000 instead of $4,000, do the math. Like, you're saving a lot more money for yourself, even though you're giving them a little bit there.
Yeah. And the free month seems to work better than being like, hey, instead of $4,000, I'm going to charge you $3,800. And it's like, that
the
doesn't.
perceived value is so much higher. And it's, and it kind of gets you off the hook to, at least for a big deal like that, to be performing right away. I don't know if I'd get them $4,000 of value within 6 sites right away. So it's like kind of building everything, got my team on it.
Yeah, just just use your head. I do think it was the right move. I just clarifying it's not the thing you do every time. It just felt like the right move. It was a referral, it was situational. So Johnny Wee says, how do I learn building sites and ranking them? Well, two things. Number one, we teach that in the program, Digital Landlords. The other thing I would say is that unless you already have a deal, unless you already have someone paying you, then I wouldn't waste my time. Because if you don't learn how to get somebody to pay you first, then you may as well learn how to crochet. What is it? What's the thing where you knit?
Both of those are real words.
Huh?
Both of those are actual words.
Yeah, crocheting is where you do like the
croquet is like a game that
okay. So croquet is like the gentleman's game, and then crochet is what my grandma freaking ripped. My grandma like smacks crocheting. She'll sit in her chair and she'll rip like a pair of little booty slippers in an episode of Matlock, dude.
Nice.
It's sick, man. I'm like, grandma, you got to start slinging these. But Johnny, just don't get it confused, and just always remember, until you get the deal, it doesn't really matter. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't focus on that, but like, you don't get that twisted. Focus on getting the deal first. And if you're sitting there going, well, I already know how to sell. Okay, then why don't you have a deal? Why don't you have a deal if you know how to sell so well? And by the way, working at GNC, selling protein powder to people that are already coming in is not sales. Okay.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend ranking your own stuff first, but I would definitely recommend outsourcing it once you have some deals, because it's when I feel like every time I get a deal, I have to, like, I'm going 100 miles an hour, and then I have to pump the brakes to outsource, right? Or no, to do it so it's like getting a team or even a few VAs. So I'm actually working with someone from Shiv's group now, who all they're doing is they're going all in on ranking it first, then selling it later. And like, they have investors, like they're building like 10 sites a week.
I think I know what you're talking about, by the way. So we'll talk about it later, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm working with them now for all my SEO stuff, because it's like they'll just build me my sites and rank them. So yeah, it's great. And there's a lot of bandwidth there.
Greg Rose says, Shiv Bernie is my dinner buddy. I don't know if there's an inside joke I missed, or if you guys got.
Oh yeah, no, we did have dinner together with Shiv in San Diego. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for the invite, you bastards. Just kidding.
Hey, you all were just chilling in St. George, Utah.
I know. Okay.
Lost in the mail.
I'm just kidding, bro. It was specific. I'll give you details later. Let's see. What else we got here? Okay, Nadine says eliminating distractions like comparing yourself to others is another way to move the needle. Yes, I totally agree with that. I saw this quote by Hermosi on, I think it was like a Facebook post or a YouTube post, and he's like, you want to know how to get stuff done? Turn off your notifications and set a 45-minute timer. You'd be amazed how much you can get done. Dustin says, hey, Bernie, I'm interested in the pool building space. Is it common that concrete business owners work with or partner with other pool builders?
I don't think, not necessarily. So a lot of pool building, they're built with like gunite or shotcrete, which is not the same as regular concrete. But what these two guys are doing is they're going into like syndicate, like they're buying like 4 family home, like townhomes, and now they did 3 of these last year. And now they're getting into apartment buildings where they have investors who can help them buy a building when they see it, and like a shithole, and then they'll just renovate it, put in a big pool, and make it nicer, and then rent it out for more. And that's, so like, they are full-time contractors, but that's kind of their hustle, and that's why they're partnered together, is they can just go big and renovate a huge building and then raise the rent, basically, is what they're kind of doing.
Cool. Okay, quick question, Bernie, what tool are you using for niche and city research?
So I actually use PineFlock, which gives me everything. I like SEMrush the most, but I'm actually starting to use Mangles a lot more, because you can change the location of your search. So you can say Temple, Texas, and put it right there, and then get the get the search volume for that, for just concrete contractors, instead of saying concrete contractors, Temple, Texas. But I'll honestly use both.
Cool. Okay. Yvonne says, Bernie, how long have you been doing this, and how many business owners do you currently have? How many deals do you currently have, is what she's saying? Or how much are you making?
I started this in August of last year, so almost a year now.
Okay.
I've closed more deals than I have business owners, because I have lost business owners, right? Like I've signed business owner like 3 times who ghosted me.
We all have.
I'm at 11 grand 200 a month.
Dude, I didn't even expect. I thought you were gonna say like 6, but I guess you have those two big deals. Nice work, bro. So by the way, I don't know if anyone knows this, and I'm pretty sure you're still working a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the most amazing thing is I love when people are like, well, I have a job, so I can't do it. I'm like, well, we have a bunch of people that are making a lot of money and they still have jobs. So Bernie actually has a 9 to 5, and it's not like a, show up at the gym and like scan people in where you can just do whatever. It's like a big boy real job, right?
Yeah, it's like government contracting it's a IT implementation.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds really smart. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. Josh says, you mentioned team. How did you build that team?
So that's kind of where, so I'll go back into what it is. Like I have 2 different VAs who just like do random shit for me.
Okay.
But for my team, I'm working with this person in another group, and they're, like I said, they have a team. So I'll just say the whole thing, dude. So she brought this to her uncle and my grandpa, and they're invested. Like, we need to just build a shit ton of sites. And they have a team in India who's like, it's like an actual like IT company. Like they've worked with them before. They've done stuff for like Toyota and like drone tracking. And so like we built a team and we're going to build all these sites. And they actually came to me because like, since they're doing pure rank and rent, they don't have the deals yet. And so they came to me to like help them sell them once they're getting ranked. But they're like, since they have all this overhead for a team, they're going to start selling SEO to companies. And like, can you help us sell this once we get those leads in? I was like, yeah, sure. But before I do that, I want to know what I'm selling. And so now I have that. It's like a team of like 12 people who just do all the stuff that I need. Because I've outsourced it before to like different white label firms, like a little bit of here, like a little of this there, a little of that there. But now I have this team who's been trained to do all my backlinking, all my citations, all my blog posts, all my service pages, Google Stacks, Silo, all this shit for cheap. And we're going to be selling SEO. So like we could do it white label too. Like if there's people in here who don't know how to put together a team, hit me up and we'll do it for cheaper than what you could do. It's kind of like training our own VAs who have a ton of capacity. So that's been a big help, honestly. Because then when you can focus on selling, you don't have to, it's a lot of, if you're doing all the outsourcing or if you're doing all the SEO by yourself, you have like 3 jobs, right? You have selling is a job, the project management is a job, and the SEO is a job. So it's like, you really need to unload some of that.
And the client management. You actually got 4 jobs.
And the client management. So you should really only be focused on like, I know you have people outsourcing your selling.
Yeah.
Which I'm not there yet.
I don't
but I have
my selling. I have an internal team that does my actual sales. Like my people do my sales. I don't do the sales anymore. I'll jump on a call and close a deal here and there. But it's mine's internal. But I think that you're smart when you're first starting out. Like instead of going and hiring an entire team, you can use these different strategies, these different people, and again, it's all about, like you said, how do I get everything off of my plate except for sales? And then eventually we'll get sales off of our plate, but the sales is what moves the needle. So let's focus on that. And what happens in all these other groups and all these other programs, well, not every one of them, but a lot of them, is it's like focus on the deal or focus on the SEO, focus on the SEO. And it's not bad, but what ends up happening is you build 20, 30, 40 websites and you don't have any money coming in. That's a problem. So anyway. Quick, let's do one more real quick. At what monthly income will you quit your JOB?
I don't know. So I haven't matched my regular monthly income from my job yet. And I feel like once I match it, then it's like, well, now I have double my income. So like to quit the job, I'm losing all that income.
If your job's, I mean, it's a real job, but if it's flexible enough that you've been able to build, and I know you work remotely, right?
It is. Yeah. So I work remote and I just got a new job because they came to me, and I get every other Friday off. And it's remote. So it's not that tough. I think my goal is 30K. If I can get to 30K, which I think I can, then it's like, I don't need this extra income or the headache.
Yep.
But right now I'm still like, what if I lose a client, like all that stuff. So right now it's just great extra income. And now it's like, well, let's go on vacation, let's go buy a new couch, like whatever. It's just like extra money to have. I think once I hit 30K, I'll be ready to just quit my job because I don't need it.
That's rad, dude. Okay. Bernie White, I appreciate it, dude. Got some freaking nuggets. This is a great call for us to have as our last. Did you hear what I was saying before you jumped on?
Yeah, dude, you were ranting at everybody, like yelling. Yeah, I had it up on Facebook. That's why the echo happened when I
haven't even gotten started. No, but real quick, one last reminder for everyone that's on. By the way, thanks for jumping on, Bernie. Stand for 2 seconds. Everyone give Bernie a thanks in the comments for dropping some heat on us. All of you should go and find his other interview and watch how much he's progressed in confidence and excitement in like where you were at in terms of your business. It's like a lot has changed in a few short months, and that's the exciting thing about this business model. But for those that weren't on the beginning, this is our last live call as you know it, as we've been doing it, where you can just hop onto Facebook, click on the link. We are now going to be doing it differently. Every single week, I am going to be putting up a form, and I'm going to be taking a certain number of people, and I'm going to be doing these calls on a more intimate live on Zoom. The postings or the recordings will not be posted here. They will not be posted on YouTube. They will only be for those people. My reasoning is, as I described at the first, when you give away free too long, it loses the sizzle and you have to stop. That is what I'm doing. And the other thing is I want to work with the people that are the most serious. And we got a lot of serious people, and I know who you are. I appreciate you. I see you. But we also got a lot of mental masturbators, like legitimate, the best of the best, right up there with some of these OnlyFans people, right? Just mentally. And they want to jump on these and mow the lawn and think about what they're going to do, but they're never actually going to take any action. And for those people, it's like, dude, go consume someone else's stuff. I'm here to work with people that actually want to take action.